Thank you for joining us today on Leaders Want to Know, a leadership development podcast. I'm Monica Moore, Educational Specialist in Leadership Development. I'm joined by my colleague.
Hello, I'm Karen Ejum. I'm also an Educational Specialist in the Office of Leadership Development. It's so nice to be with you all again today.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you back, Pam and Mel. Last time we were together, we talked about Notebook LM. So do you just want to take a second and introduce yourselves and maybe share a little bit about what we'll be talking about today?
Absolutely. Well, first off, my name is Mel Mollick. I'm a School Technology Innovation Partner with the Department of Information Technology.
Pam Galietta. I am another School Technology Innovation Partner, proudly working in the Office of Department of Information Technology. Mel and I support innovation in our schools, and we help bridge the gap between IT and what's happening in our schools. And we're excited to be here today. I know we enjoyed talking about Notebook LM last time, and today we're going to talk about Gemini Gems.
Yeah, so with Gemini Gems today, we're really going to be revealing to school-based administrators how you can build a customized gem to help you with those observations.
Ooh, help with observations. That's going to be music to some administrators' ears. We know that this is the time of year that administrators are starting to get into buildings, or get into classrooms rather.
Hopefully they're already in there.
Yeah, they've been in their buildings all year, but get into classrooms, whether that be a walkthrough and an informal observation or a formal observation. And we know that their time and their tasks can bring them in 50 different directions, but giving meaningful feedback is often their top priority. So we're really excited to hear how this gem can help them check that off their to-do list. So can you just walk us through the concept of Gemini Gems and how it might help them with this task?
Sure, absolutely. Gemini Gems, first of all, just love the name of them. Gems.
Yeah.
It just sounds engaging when you hear the name Gemini Gems. But you can think of them as like a AI superpowered assistant for you. They're really great at when you have repetitive tasks, kind of like operational tasks and things like that. It can help automate some procedures that you engage with in your line of work. So it's really great, and it applies really well to the observations that administrators so often do. So what it is overall is basically a superpowered prompt that exists in your Gemini account, and you can front load it with a bunch of knowledge and information that already exists in your Google Drive. And so you kind of want to think of it as you kind of create this gem with all of that knowledge. And then you will, for this purpose, we're talking about observations, you would capture your observation, and you would use that gem post-observation and prompt that gem to create the feedback in a structure that is either standard for your school or just unique to that teacher. And then you'd create the summarized feedback and observation, and then you would then, of course, put the human in the loop, polish it up, make it personal, and then provide that back to the teacher. So it's just kind of like a whole cycle, and it's really, really, really efficient, and really excited to be talking about it.
It sounds like it would not only save a lot of time, but you can also tailor it to the feedback you're trying to give as an administrator. So if an administrator wanted to get started, what would they do? What would be the first step?
Sure. So just like an administrator would always do, they're going to start off by doing their observations. So walking around classroom to classroom and just capturing raw data. That could be in any note-taking form that you're comfortable with. For me, it's my iPad. It's something small I can walk around and just jot notes down. It could be a notebook, a physical paper notebook, or it could be a Google Doc. You want to capture your thoughts, your notes, your ideas. Then what administrators typically do with that is then they go back to their computer, they read through all their notes, they have the evaluation criteria side by side, and they're trying to determine where does this educator place along, this rubric of criteria, perhaps with a goal that they've already identified. So those are the two normal processes, and we're going to take Google Gems and help it down the middle. So what you're going to do is 4 things, and Pam created a great acronym for this. It's create, capture, prompt, and then polish. Okay, and we'll have a document with the show notes with this that shows those 4 things. So like she said, create. step one, go to Google, Gemini, .google.com. This is the same location that you engage in Gemini chat with.
Okay.
So in the same place that Google Gemini is where gems are. Start by creating your gem. Give it that master prompt that Pam was talking about. Say, you are an expert at providing thoughtful feedback to educators that help them grow. Evaluate the notes that are provided to you and help an administrator highlight their grows and glows for that person, right? This is essentially what we're going to do. You could also take that to the next step with a gem and give it some customized knowledge. So what do administrators need to look at to make sure that their observation
Like the
notes are
performance
actionable?
standards?
Yeah, exactly. So take those performance standards, maybe take your school improvement plan. Maybe take that educator or a group of educators' goals from last year and upload it to that gem as the knowledge. So what it's going to do is not necessarily summarize your feedback, but it's going to transfer that skill and say, look at my feedback in conjunction with all of these references and source material and help me determine how do I help this educator grow, what are their strengths, where are some places we need some coaching in, and give really specific actionable feedback aligned to all those documents. So that is
That would be amazing.
right?
I can already see how much, all the time being saved.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like a little pro tip there too is that prompt that you're creating in the gem and setting it up. AI will help you write that. And so you can kind of put in those structures, as Mel said, the expert administrator and things like that. But Gemini can help you overcome that. Sometimes people get a little bit like, oh gosh, I have to do this really.
Right.
Yeah. So just a little pro tip is there's a little button where you can click it and it can set it up for you. So.
Okay, even better.
Yeah, so that create part is even easier with that prompt assistance. So you've created it, you've captured your notes, and now you're going to go to that gem. You've built it, it's all ready.
Is it just like right there?
Yeah, it's like a-
where would you see it on your screen?
Yeah, it's like it's in the Google Gemini window.
Okay.
So it's in the same place that you normally chat with. And in Google Gemini, you have a sidebar.
Okay.
You have some pinned chats, and then you have your gems. So you would
Okay.
select this gem whenever you're ready, and you're enacting this gem.
Okay,
And you're
okay.
saying, all right, gem, here we go. Reference the notes that I have on Mel Mollick from our observation last week, and I want you to highlight her grows and glows. And that's all you do with that gem. That gem already knows what those evaluation criteria might be, those
Right,
performance
right.
standards. It might already have some referenced documents from me from last year, what I was working on. And so it's going to help me create that feedback for that teacher in a much quicker way. And so to Pam's point, once you have those notes, right, bring the human back in the loop. AI should always be human-centered. So you have that relationship as an administrator with that individual. You know their strengths and weaknesses from working with them, or you're working on it, right? How can you bring your perspective to whatever that AI-assisted information is? And that's the P in polish, and that's really important. So once again, that acronym that Pam had mentioned was CREATE. So build the gem, capture, take your notes during those observations just as you normally do. By the way, if it is paper notes, all you need to do is take a picture of it and upload it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I think I wasn't sure. I think we and the same with Notebook LM too. I know we mentioned that. Yeah. So it will do that character recognition.
Yep.
So that's awesome.
And then you just prompt it like you would a normal chat and then polish up those results.
I have so many questions. So just two I'll ask. One is, are you able to share your gem with anyone? Like if you have an administrative team in your building, are you able to share gems?
We at this point, I mean, what's the date today? It changes. AI changes so frequently that it's it could be outdated by the time.
Right.
But as of right now, no gems
Okay.
cannot be shared. But we do think that is hopefully something that will be
In the future.
enabled soon.
Okay.
That said, I think a lot of it, you can do a lot of setting up for if you were an administrator and wanted to share it with your team. just, copy and paste your
Right.
prompt, say,
Okay.
hey, I uploaded this, this, and this, and
Okay.
then, so you can kind of provide a
Work
clear
around
template.
it.
Yeah.
And if you've ever written an email and attached a document to an email, it is no harder to create a
Okay.
gem.
Oh, that's a good, yeah.
All you're doing is writing into a text box and pressing a plus to attach documents. It's
Okay.
really that easy.
I've heard in the past where people have uploaded some of their own writing and said, make it sound like my voice. Is that something that you think are you able to do, and is it worthwhile to do?
Yeah, so it will, tone is a great use for capturing tone is a great use for AI. It's like, this is the tone I'm trying to convey. Is my draft sounding and conveying that message and that tone? So you could upload a document as knowledge, as Mel said, click the plus sign to upload that, and, you could name it a certain naming convention and tell the gem,
Right.
this is my natural language. Please use the tone conveyed in
Okay.
this document. So it would take a little bit of tweaking, but you could do that.
Okay.
So it is very good at reflecting on tone for sure.
And the great thing with Google Gems versus using Gemini Chat is that gems get smarter over time the longer that you use a gem. It's the
Oh.
life cycle of a gem. So the longer you prompt and engage in that same chat, the smarter it gets. The more it's responding to the feedback that you've already given it in that chat. So if during that chat you were to say, I'd like this to be a little bit more friendly professional, right? It'll
Are you in my
remember that
Gemini?
tone. Yeah, so it does get smarter over time with your feedback.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this seems like it can save administrators time, and even if they're reluctant to use it, I feel like they could try and compare what they were thinking with what Gemini said as a soft start, talk to their teams about this. So thank you so much for both coming today and sharing this. I'm eager to get into a classroom. If anyone that's listening wants to invite us, we can practice with the tool as well. But Pam and Mel, thank you for being here, and
course.
we're
Thanks for having
excited for you guys to continue to come and bring these time savers to administrators to help them make sure that they're not wasting too much of their thinking time on things that they can have Gemini support with as well.
And if people wanted to get in touch with us,
Oh, if people want to get in touch with you, how
yeah.
can they? What's
How
the
can they
best way
reach
to get in
you?
touch with
yes.
you?
So as we referenced previously, we're going to have that acronym, the create, capture, prompt, and polish on our Atlas pages. So we
Okay.
curate 2 Atlas pages. One is called AI and FCPS. We will post that there. And then the other page we curate is the Lighthouse Schools page in FCPS. So you can
Alright.
find us on Atlas.
And so we'll include those links in this
Absolutely.
podcast
Great.
description. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you again.
All right.
Thank you.